No, what? No. Please not. Just wait. Wait.
Disney Plus has been racking up quite a lot of viewership thanks to acquiring the rights to Marvel for the price of $4 billion. It has now become a home to several spin-off series from the characters of MCU. With the Avengers Endgame reaching its conclusive ending back in 2019 that closed the Avengers chapter, Disney has already launched their Marvel Cinematic Universe, Phase 4. Kickstarting the year was the series WandaVision, which premiered in January 2021, followed by The Falcon and the Winter Soldier in April. June, we have the spin-off series of one of our favorite anti-heroes, Loki. Now on its third week, the latest episode has got the world shook and celebrating with the latest revelation. How are you doing, guys? Have you been keeping up with Disney Plus' newest series? Welcome back to our channel, wherein once again, the topic of today's episode is about a certain character in the new Loki series that has one of the biggest revelations ever. Find out more by watching today's video. A word of caution though, for those of you who haven't started watching yet, today's video contains several spoilers, so proceed at your own risk. But if you're good at that, then let's get the ball rolling. One more thing, before we get to that, kindly give a thumbs up on today's video, and while you're at it, subscribe to our channel with the notification bell turned on so you won't miss out on our newest uploads. Loki, what's the series about? After living in Thor's shadow for too long in the films and even being sidelined in the last Avengers movie, finally we see our favorite god of mischief have his own titular show. If you've watched the MCU films, then you're quite familiar with how many timelines our heroes went through to save the world, especially on the last one. The Loki in this series comes from the planned time heist by Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, Scott Lang, and Bruce Banner in the Endgame movie. But as it happened, Loki managed to escape with the Tesseract, and now he's apprehended by the mysterious Time Variance Authority, TVA, a bureaucratic organization that exists outside of time and space and monitors the timeline. They give Loki a choice: face being erased from existence due to being a time variant, or help fix the timeline and stop a greater threat. Thus, the adventures of Loki begin wherein he's partnered with Mobius M. Mobius, an agent of the TVA who specializes in the investigations of particularly dangerous time criminals. Created by Malka Waldron and based on Marvel Comics, the series is set to run for 6 episodes and has just finished airing its 4th episode back on June 30th, 2021. A recap on the latest episode and a revelation from a certain character. Before we proceed, this is your last warning that today's video contains spoilers from the latest episode, so if you haven't watched it yet, watch it now. But if you're still cool with this, then let's proceed. The latest episode of Loki, titled The Nexus Event, confirms a lot of what the public has been asking, and is a nod to the LGBTQ community. You know what they say, the gays keep winning. During the Disney Plus promo clip for the series, it's already been confirmed that this Asgardian being is gender fluid, meaning they do not identify themselves as having a fixed gender. In the footage, it was teased in a conversation between the titular Marvel shapeshifter and Owen Wilson's Agent Mobius of the Time Variance Authority. And at the beginning of the clip, one of the TVA's featured files on Loki states "fluid" next to the sex category. Although it's a progressive development for the MCU, Loki's character has already been confirmed in Marvel Comics as a gender fluid back in 2014. In Original Sin number 5.5, Odin referred to Loki as "my son and my daughter," and "my child, who is both." Now back to the latest episode. We have Sylvie Lafadori, a variant of Loki, introduced in the last episode, and together the two run off. They sneak onto a train which they hope will help save them from the apocalypse that's about to destroy Lamentis. During their moments alone, they talked about several topics, then turned to love. "You're a prince," she says. "Must have been would-be princesses." Then, with a knowing jump of her eyebrows, "or perhaps another prince." After a beat, Loki says, "A bit of both. I suspect the same as you, but nothing ever real." Sylvie chimes in. With that single sentence, the bisexual population in the MCU has increased again. We say again since Valkyrie has previously been confirmed to be bisexual too, although Sylvie could be pansexual or just generally queer, but labels weren't dropped in the scene. Director Kate Herron has since confirmed online that Loki is indeed bisexual, just like herself. And that's not all. The 4th episode is pretty much drenched in hues of pink, purple, and blue, lighting, the colors that make up the bisexual pride flag. It's especially important that Loki is specifically bisexual given how often bisexuality is ignored or even contested by people who don't understand. This has been a progressive step by Marvel, so hopefully we're seeing a lot more representation in the future. You know what? We may be seeing another representation soon since a lot has been planned with the Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 4, which includes the much-awaited The Eternals. What other events also happened in Episode 4? Although this episode was a celebration for the LGBTQ community, our anti-hero is also left once again in a dire situation at the end. Or is it? During that episode, it was also revealed that the Timekeepers are robots. With Loki opening up to a distraught Sylvie, they were interrupted by TVA Judge Ravonna Renslayer, Gugu Mbatha Raw, who sneaks up and prunes Loki, seemingly wiping him from existence. So is he really gone? Highly unlikely, since a post-credits scene sees Loki wake up in a ruined city and wonder aloud if he's dead. "Not yet," says a mysterious someone in the unmistakable tones of Richard E. Grant. "But you will be unless you come with me." He looks up to see a trio of new Loki variants, credited as Classic Loki, Richard E. Grant, Kid Loki, Jack Veal, who's also holding what seems to be a crocodile with Loki's crown, and Boastful Loki. Diobia Opere. A lot's bound to happen in the next episode, so we can only assume things and wait for its premiere. But other than that, let us bring your attention to the Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 4. Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 4. What is it? For those of you who are not aware of Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 4, it's a group of American superhero films and television series produced by Marvel Studios based on characters that appear in publications by Marvel Comics. Phase 4 features all of the Marvel Studios productions set to be released from 2021 through 2023. It is the first phase in the franchise to include television series, with Marvel Studios developing several event series for the streaming service Disney Plus, in addition to the feature films that it was already set to produce. WandaVision signaled the start of Phase 4, while the first theatrical film in this phase was Black Widow, set to be released in July 2021 by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. The release schedule of Phase 4 was changed several times because of the coronavirus pandemic, and if you remember, the Black Widow movie's release date was moved multiple times. Phase 4 contains 11 films, namely Black Widow with Scarlett Johansson returning as Natasha Romanoff / Black Widow, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings starring Simu Lee that resemble Eternals, the sequels Spider-Man No Way Home from Sony Pictures releasing from Tom Holland returning as Peter Parker / Spider-Man, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness with Benedict Cumberbatch returning as Dr. Stephen Strange, Thor Love and Thunder with Chris Hemsworth returning as Thor, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, The Marvels starring Brie Larson, Teyonah Parris, and Iman Vellani, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania starring Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly, and the Ensemble Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 along with Fantastic Four. For the series, it boasts of 13 titles which include WandaVision with Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany in the title roles, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier with Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan in the title roles, the first season of Loki starring Tom Hiddleston, the first season of animated What If narrated by Jeffrey Wright, Miss Marvel starring Iman Vellani, Hawkeye starring Jeremy Renner and Haley Steinfeld, Moon Knight starring Oscar Isaac, She-Hulk starring Tatiana Maslany, Secret Invasion starring Samuel L. Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn, Ironheart starring Dominique Thorne, Armor Wars starring Don Cheadle, and a series set in Wakanda starring Danai Gurira. The ensemble, the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, will also be included in this phase. When and where can I watch Loki? With 2 more episodes scheduled to air, you can still watch Loki exclusively on Disney Plus every Wednesday at 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Mountain Time. While you're at it, you can also check out WandaVision as well as The Falcon and the Winter Soldier on the streaming giant. It's nearing its finale with 2 more episodes to go, so while you can, stream it on Disney Plus. And with that, we're concluding today's episode about the character who's changed forever in the new Loki series. Hopefully you enjoyed watching today's video as much as we did making it. Before you go, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on so you won't miss any of our new releases. We've got a lot of other interesting videos up on our channel for you to choose from. Thanks for watching today's video, and we'll see you at the next one.